What's up guys, it's Jake Shaw here, and today I'm going to be talking about the latest anime episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. This episode, which was episode 13, was a crazy episode, and for me solidifies this anime as one of the best new gen shonens. It's already early to call, but you can already tell this show is going crazy. I'm going to be explaining how things occurred and what things meant within this episode, and I hope you guys will be able to stay tuned, get ready, sit down, you'll be able to view with me why this episode was so good and why this show, in my opinion, has taken a new position of some of the shonen greats that are out there right now. If you haven't already and you're new to the channel, leave a like, because hey, the like button is free, it doesn't cost nothing, you feel me? Subscribe if you're new, hey, turn on the post notifications, all of that is always appreciated. And as I say to the new and old people that come visit my channel, let's get into the intro. Alright guys, so the first part I want to touch up upon within this episode, I actually want to touch up upon how amazing the animation is. First of all, Mappa does a great job when it comes to animation, and in this episode they really went all out. They really were not scared to use their budget for an episode like this. In fact, they went above and beyond. They even had the point where I was so shocked how amazing they animated the transfigured humans into actually attacking Itadori. It really made you feel like you were there. It made you feel like you can understand the stress and see how much Yuji wants to be in a situation that is not like this, where he has to make a decision, like he said in the last episodes about to Jinpei, that he doesn't want to make this type of decision. If you've read the manga, watch my latest episode or the latest video that I made, which is about Yuji Itadori's morality. I'm even going to put it as an end screen and you guys can watch it after, because it's a very interesting subject. Yuji actually was encountering these transfigured humans after fighting with Mahito. Mahito wanted to split up Nanami and Yuji. When Yuji was alone with these transfigured humans, they were speaking to him and he was broken. He didn't want to hurt them, he didn't want to kill them, but he felt like there was no other choice. So instead he chose to run away from them, as Mahito expected, and until one of the transfigured humans actually was like, kill me. When the transfigured human said kill me, he felt in his heart that this was something so sad and so sickening, and he, Mahito, needs to die. Yuji Itadori then ended up reconciling what he's actually been through, and it clearly shows here that he had to mature and actually had to change his morals, which I said in the video before. He had to change his morals to be able to defeat Mahito, which will cause more damage and pain to others in the future if he allows this to carry on. While he reconciled, you could tell he changed his actual morality and what he's going to do. You can see that Mahito is happy. He's happy that he had to go against what he believed and that he can actually say, yo, you killed a human, so what's like the difference between us two? And in this process, you can see that Mahito is scared and realizes they know my abilities, they know how I work. So now if I'm going to change my shape, it's not going to be quick enough. So now I'm basically pummeled up. I'm actually going to be beaten up. And he borderline says, yes, you know what? This feeling is something new, something spontaneous. It's actually death. And he's never felt that in a position where he ever had to feel death. And with this was not the only thing that occurred. The maddest thing that occurred is that when Yuji and Nanami were planning to actually land the final blow to Mahito, what happened? Mahito unlocked and knew right now is the time. Now that I'm in desperation, that I need to use my domain expansion. While Mahito uses his domain expansion, you can see a lot of hands. Usually this show actually shows a lot of Buddhism, and this is basically, you know, similar to stuff like Netero, where you have a lot of hands, basically signifying that, you know, you're in control. And he actually is happy and smiles at the fact that he's able to use his domain expansion. Mahito basically has Nanami on the palm of his hands, and this actually makes Nanami think, yo, you know what, I need to actually revisit myself, because he realizes this might be the end of him, and his purpose of life is when it came. He is not like his life flashed before his eyes, but what flashed before his eyes is his purpose of life. In fact, this anime does a great job in doing this, because he is actually shown to have a goal. His goal before, when they were showing his flashback, was just for money, and now he's considering, what is the point of me living if I die? People are not gonna miss me for what I'm doing, because I'm taking money from the rich and giving it to the rich. So what is the point? Nanami is in a conflict with himself, an own battle, and it really does show that he really found what he wanted to do. Even at death, he was glad that he actually got his purpose. That is why he contacted Gojo. He felt even a little bit happy when he actually helped the restaurant, the baker, and basically helped them with killing one of the curses. While this is happening, Nanami is on the brink of accepting fate, and long and behold, Yuji Itadori coming in the clutch, punching through the domain expansion. And in the domain expansion, explaining this part specifically, when Mahito used the domain expansion and actually made sure that Sukuna / Itadori was not in it, it was because of Sukuna himself. So when Nanami was inside, it seemed like it's GG, because Nanami said that he didn't have the willpower, or didn't reach the power to create a domain expansion. So he couldn't actually override this, which means it's definite death, because there was no way getting out. But in this case, the outer shell of a domain expansion is actually very weak, and it's actually possible for someone to break in. But before, when we actually saw it, you can see Nanami really knew that nothing was actually coming out, or nothing was going out and nothing was coming in. So the fact that it's so good at trapping someone inside, it does make the outside very vulnerable. So when Yuji Itadori actually broke in, it's not only Yuji Itadori that was actually in, it was also Sukuna, which means his soul was touched by Mahito again due to his domain expansion. And when this happened, Sukuna felt so disrespected, because not knowing completely what is going on in the outside or in the inside, he knew, Mahito, do not come against me, do not touch me, do not do anything to do with me again. So Sukuna really asserted his dominance by casually almost killing Mahito with just a flick of his finger, showing how strong he is in his own presence, in his own borderline domain. Mahito was basically on the brink of death, and really did show that Sukuna was the king of curses. While this happens, not only is Yuji on his toes, he's thinking, now that he's at his weakest, I'm actually going to attack him and kill him, because we're not going to let him survive, we'll get away. So we need to put the critical punch, the critical kill now. But then Mahito does a fake out, saying that he's using his last cursed energy to actually try and attack or blow up. But in this case, Yuji then knew that the attack that he does is going to be his last chance at getting Mahito, and they really wanted to kill him. So with everything he used, with the beautiful animation of Mappa, he actually then punches with a divergent fist into the body of Mahito, but then we find out it's actually air. So this was a decoy. This decoy was actually used to basically allow Mahito to escape. Mahito has done it many times where he's used a twin, used something else to use as a decoy, and this allowed Mahito to escape through the sewers. Unfortunately, Nanami was really stressed, and they were all stressed Nanami was really like, wait, we should actually go and face him. We should go and find him before he causes any more trouble because he's in the sewers. Yuji was actually going to go. Nanami was going to go. And then, unfortunately, because of tiredness, stabbed through the belly, stabbed through everywhere, borderline. Look at the holes on his back. Yuji Itadori really couldn't do anything else. He was actually mobile. The adrenaline calmed down. And all the energy that he used seemed to have worn off. So, in this case, Nanami can't go chasing Mahito alone. So, that was the end of the fight. Mahito don't realize that Sukuna, regardless of what happens, regardless of what actually happens to the curses, as long as Sukuna is actually out of Yuji Itadori's control, he is going to make sure curses will prevail within this world. And that is why Mahito was satisfied. Not only that, he did feel upset that he couldn't kill Yuji Itadori because of Sukuna. But in this case, he then admits, yeah, I wanted to kill him, but you know, what can I do really? So then it goes into a really deep scene, and the scene that it actually goes on to is basically part of the video that I made yesterday, which was, well, made recently, which was Yuji Itadori basically having this conversation with Nanami about what he's done. He's killed people. He's not done nothing useful. He feels like he's done nothing to actually help. How can he prevent deaths? How can he make people die of a natural death? These questions is what he asked, but the answer at the end of the day is there's no understanding. There's no definite way of knowing what is or what is not normal, what is or what is not natural, because everyone dies a different way. And you know what? You'll do it. You'll go and continue to be a person that wants to save people, no matter what the cost is. But I know you, Yuji, you are willing to go through that length, and no matter what I say, you're gonna make sure that you find that answer. That is your goal. That is your purpose. So Nanami did really break it down to him that in reality, what you're asking for is borderline unrealistic, but at the same time, if you're gonna do it, just do it and try and find your answer. They then revisited when Junpei actually had been stressed and basically borderline killed them because of what they did to the mother, and letting them know they have to deal with that fact, because if they do not, they're the ones that are going to crumble under its pressure, and the ghost of Junpei is going to be there. So that is something that they added in there, just to make them understand that, yeah, what you have, they will all have consequences at the end of the day. And that is all pretty much. Then it goes into the next section where it revisits almost everyone. The OST in this was beautiful. Everyone was being shown, everyone was being presented beautifully, and they were explaining, yo, tomorrow, which the title is, we have to just wait until tomorrow. Make sure that we can be the better version of ourselves the next day. And Yuji Itadori declares that he will not lose and will make sure if he gets Mahito, he will kill him. That was an amazing episode, and I really did like that episode. That episode really made me feel like Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be the pillars of new gen anime, and has really shown that to be the case. The manga is amazing. If you haven't read the manga, I suggest you read it. Unless you want to finish the season right now, then read the manga. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I said before, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and as I say to the new and old people that come and visit my channel, Jana.